I don't know if, are you recording yet?
Yep, just started.
Okay.
All right, so welcome everybody. This is the Director Bound call number 3, and our topic for tonight is about host coaching. So I'm not sure if any of you have heard this saying, that host coaching is actually where you make your money and the party is where you go to pick up your check. Because this is totally the most influential part of your job is working with your hostess to have the most successful party that you can and getting her on board and excited. So we're going to just go through some things that are very important when you're host coaching and things you might want to focus on. So one thing that I think is just instrumental with your hostess is to build a rapport with her. So start talking with your hostess at the time that you're booking the party. Ask her what it is that she has on her wish list or what she's excited about hosting a party for. Because maybe she has a larger item on her wish list, or maybe she just remodeled her kitchen and wants to show it off. Or maybe she is just the party kind of person in her circle. And if someone's going to have a party, it is by golly going to be her. So when you know what her reason is for hosting, it's a lot easier to work with her to have the most successful party that you can. Do you have anything you want to add, Carrie, about building a relationship with your host in the beginning, or things that you want to talk with her about right off the bat?
It basically is to get the wish list. What does she expect to get from this so that you can help her make that goal? So you pretty much said it. I don't really have anything to add.
Okay. And then the other part about when you are host coaching is you want to host coach every single hostess. So your hostess may tell you that she has hosted a Pampered Chef party in the past, or she might tell you that she is a consultant with another direct sales company, or that she has had parties with another company. She has parties all the time. But a lot of the different party plans or even different consultants may not have actually explained to her what the way is to be the most successful hostess. So the other way to get your hostess on board with you is really to explain that to her, that you want to partner with her to make this the most successful party that you can, and that you want to work with her to get to at least the $1,000 sales level and above, because that is where the best benefits for hostesses are. So really stressing to your hostess that it's a partnership, and sharing the importance with her of inviting is the next step. So in this day and age of the Facebook event, which somewhat makes me cringe, I think a lot of our hostesses feel like they can create a Facebook event and they can invite their friends to the party through the Facebook event. And that is a lot of times where our attendance at parties falls through the floor, because if you are like me, I get invited to dozens of Facebook events every single week, and I may not even know that I've been invited to them until the day of the event. It will pop up saying, you have an event today with whoever has invited me. So right away, you want to talk with your hostess about how she is going to invite her guests. So you can tell her that, a Facebook event is a great way to invite people in addition to at least one other method of contact. So I stress to my hostess that she's going to want to use either the postcard invitations that I've given her, or a text message invite, or a personal invite face-to-face, or a phone call. What are some of the ways that you work with your hostess on inviting, Carrie?
I tell them to either text or personal message on Facebook each guest to invite them to their party. And I explain to them why, because just what you said, everybody gets lots of invites to parties on the events, and sometimes I think they get ignored. So if they get an additional way to be invited, then they're going to go, oh, wait, I like Pampered Chef. I'm going to go to that one. So definitely have to invite by more than just creating an event.
And I think the other important thing is when you're talking with your hostess, really stressing to her how many people you are expecting her to invite. So at least 40 people you want her to invite. And if she starts to get panicky about that, you can reassure her that only about a fourth of the people are going to be able to make it to the actual party, but that, we want to have the best turnout for her to make it worth her time so she gets those items on her wish list. And when you do have hosts who are either saying they don't know that many people or they're not comfortable inviting that many people, that's where you can really work with them on actually the host planner that you give them. If you use the folders, it's right on the folder. Otherwise, if you print off the planners from Consultants Corner, there's the list on there. And it talks about the different people, like the neighbors, the friends, church friends, friends from kids, different groups of people. So if your host is having a hard time coming up with people to invite, you are going to want to invest your time in working with your hostess to get that list to at least 40 people. Now, the other reason you want to give her a target number is because if your hostess has maybe hosted for other direct sales companies, there's some direct sales companies that only encourage you to invite 5 to 6 people because that's all their party format handles, if it's like a makeup party or a pedicure party or something like that. So if your hostess has had other direct sales parties and that's the target number that they've given her, that's the target number that sticks in her head. So, it's kind of like if you're driving on a road and you don't have a destination in mind, you're just going to keep driving and, feel like when you get somewhere you like, that's where you were supposed to end up. But if you have a destination, you know exactly what's expected of you. And your hostesses are going to appreciate that, having direct steps to success. So, just pointing out that it's 40, the list is 40. We want to invite at least 40 people and we want to invite by at least 2 methods. So it could be the Facebook event and a text, or a personal message and a Facebook event, or a postcard invitation and a text. But, people are busy, and I'm guilty of this as well. I get an invitation to something, and unless it immediately goes on my calendar and immediately gives me a notification that that's coming up, I'm going to miss it. It's going to be the next day afterwards, and I'm going to think, gosh, Carrie was having a party, and I was going to go to that. When is that? And then I will look it up, I'll research it, and it was yesterday. So that's not very helpful to our hostess if her friends miss her party because they don't get the right amount of invitations and the personal invitation from her. So the next thing that you want to do is you want to establish with your hostess that you are going to be communicating with her throughout this process. So it's not going to be that you just book the party and then you show up at her house the day of the party and all's well and good. You want to be her partner in this. So you want to be working with her every step of the way. So you want to be in contact with her, whatever her best communication method is. I'm still a firm believer that you need at least one good in-person or phone call conversation with that hostess, because I think, the actual implications in your voice, being able to hear her reactions, being able to have the affirmation that she understood what you were saying is imperative. And if your hostess indicates that she would rather communicate through text message or Facebook Messenger, that's okay too. You can host coach through those methods if that's how she's going to respond. But I feel like a good phone conversation also builds the rapport with your hostess that you want to have for ongoing relations with her and ongoing business with her. What are your methods for communicating with your host, Carrie, most often?
Well, I try to, it seems like most people like to either text or do the personal message thing. The phone call thing, it's hard for my host for some reason. I don't know. They like the other. So whatever works. I just had a party last Sunday and that girl only texts. She does not talk on the phone. So that's just what we do. You just have to ask what they prefer. And some people have different hours of if they have, jobs. And I know this girl was a physician's assistant, so she works odd hours. So it's just totally that. I used to send postcards and stuff, but I kind of got away from that. I have little pictures that I can send on a message on Facebook that seem to work for my virtual parties. So you just have to find out what works best for your host.
Okay, very good. So then we are going to share with you just some of the wording that we might use with our hostesses. So Carrie is going to be our consultant right now, and I will be our hostess.
Okay. Lynette, I'm so excited for your party on May 1st. So tell me, what did you like about Julie's party?
Well, I really liked that strawberry shortcake recipe that you made. And I kind of think I need that warmer stand. I already have the Rock Crack, but I don't have the warmer.
Oh, awesome. Well, that warmer stand will come in handy. You know already how well that Rock Crack works. So by getting that stand, you can just do more things with it. I know you work too, and you can put your food in there, your dinner in there before you go to work, and when you get home, it'll be ready to go. And I know you like to entertain, so if you make something and you want to keep it warm while your party's going on, you can use it for that too. Just remember that we want to have at least 15 people at your party. I know that might sound like a lot, but I want you to get the most bang for your buck. I like free things, and I'm sure you do too. So you're going to need to invite about 40 people to get those 15 people at your party. Is that something that you think you can do?
Ooh, I really just don't think I know 40 people. I mean, I don't have a lot of people that I hang out with.
Okay, well, you can invite as many people as you can think of, and then tell them to bring a friend with them, because that could double your party group. And it's actually a lot of fun for people to come with a friend anyway, because then they bring someone they already know. What do you think about that?
Well, that's a good idea. So where would I put all these people? My house isn't really that big.
That doesn't really matter. I had 25 people in an apartment one time, and they all did just fine. People sat on the floor. It was all good. They were just there to have fun and have some good food to eat. So don't worry about the size of your place. We can make it work.
Okay.
Okay, so be sure you start telling your guests about your party now. Get them excited, have them put that date on the calendar, because if they're like everyone else, they'll forget about it if they don't write it down now.
Oh, yeah, I already set up a Facebook event, so I've got everyone invited.
Okay, well, be sure you text people, message them, because sometimes those invites get ignored. Okay?
Okay.
And I know people don't answer their phone these days, so you can always leave a voicemail too if you wanted to. That would work.
Okay.
Then just send me a list of everyone you're inviting, and I could send them a mini catalog out. That might also spark some interest.
Yeah, I could try that. I don't really know very many people's address, though.
Well, maybe you could use that as a reason to connect with them, is that you need to get their address, because your Pampered Chef consultant is going to send them a little mini catalog in the mail.
Oh, okay.
Would you prefer to mail me a list of the names, or do it electronically and send an email?
Oh, I would send an email. I don't have a stamp.
Okay, email's fine. This is my email address. So today is Sunday, and if you could get me that list by Friday, that would be great. Then I can get those mini catalogs mailed out right away. I find that my hosts get lots of orders from guests who can't attend, which we want to aim to get 5 to 10 outside orders as well. A lot of people want to come to your party, but you can't pick a date that's going to work for everyone. So then we can focus on getting outside orders from those people.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Okay, I can do that.
Now, what's the best way to communicate? If I give you a call tomorrow to get a few more details for your party, does that work? Or do you like to text, or what works best for you?
I'm usually pretty busy. I mostly like to text.
Okay. Well, I'll just text you tomorrow to see how your guest list is going. Does that sound all right?
Okay, that will work.
Okay, well, we'll chat tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, bye.
Okay, so you could see on the call that Carrie was not going to give up. She was going to, have something for every objection and not just let her host go, I don't know any more people. The end.
Yep, can't do that.
So, you have to be prepared when you're talking with your host to encourage her through some of the things that she sees as an obstacle, because the party's supposed to be fun for her. We don't want her to stress out over some of those details.
And you don't want your host to be frustrated with the outcome of her party, because then she could say to people, "Oh, Carrie Furley, she's not very good. I had a terrible party with her, or whatever." Your job is to get the most you can for your host, and you have to point them in the right direction to get the most for them, and then they'll be happy, and you'll be their friend for life.
And they'll be your repeat customer and your repeat
Yes.
hostess, because they did get such an amazing amount of benefits from you. So,
and they'll give your name to others.
right. So
Yep.
if you are working with your host coaching and you're not remembering everything that Carrie and I just said, there is on Consultants Corner the host coaching checklist, and it walks you through a 3-call system, but you can easily adapt those points to personal messaging or texting. But even just the little things that it reminds you of about asking about the space you're going to be demonstrating in. Early on, I ended up at a party because I wasn't a very good host coach, where I had a coffee table that was about the height of my knees to demonstrate my recipe on. And I will tell you that when you are making a taco ring on a coffee table, that is awkward. So it reminds you to just say, we can have the party anywhere in the house that your guests will be most comfortable, but I will need a table, to demonstrate on. And it could be a card table or one of the white fold-up tables or your dining room table, a kitchen island. Anything like that is just fine, but I just need a space where I can prepare the recipe. So, some of those points are very important. And it also kind of keeps you on task. If you print the checklist out and you write one out for each hostess, when you're doing multiple parties, you maybe can't remember when you talk to someone, hey, was she the lady who needed some more catalogs, or was she the person who needed, me to bring a table because she didn't have a table, or was he the guy that only had 3 people coming, so we need to work on the guest list tomorrow with him. You kind of feel more organized when you can check off, yes, I did ask him about the space. Yes, I did get directions. Yes, I know if they have a dog that's going to eat me. I mean, any of those kinds of things. So I kind of can keep going back to that system because I like to have it in front of me. There's probably other electronic ways you can do that. Do you have a system that you use to track host coaching, Carrie?
I've done it for so long, I don't really have a system, but the one on Consultants Corner is a checklist. You can completely just go from there, check it as you go. It's perfect. That's what I recommend to my new consultants, is to go by that. I do glance at that every once in a while, but I know how to do it because I've done it for so long, but I would definitely recommend the list that's on Consultants Corner. And be sure that a funny story, I had this happen one time. It was a very, very long time ago, and it will never happen again. Got to my host's house, and she thought I was bringing groceries for the food. So neither one of us had brought groceries for the food, so we didn't have any. So don't ever do that again. No. That's when I learned that host coaching was imperative, because I had to run to the grocery store really fast to pick up the groceries because we had nothing to make. So don't do that.
And any little wrench in the party just makes it harder for you as the consultant.
Yeah.
So making sure you've communicated everything with your hostess makes it better for both of you.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think that is kind of the nuts and bolts of the host coaching. The other thing that I want to just say is that you have a little bit of homework, which is, of course, the 15 contacts every week outside a party. And then the audio assignment for this week is Make It Impactful, with Laura Anatukel and Diana Feller, which is under Director Bound, under the Consultant Resources. So if you have a chance to go through and listen to that, it's going to have some more great tips for you for communicating. And, I think that is all that I have for tonight for the host coaching. Do you have anything else you would like to add, Carrie?
No, I don't think so. Just reach out to your director if you have questions, and hopefully this has helped get you in the right direction to get your party attendance up, and hopefully, and even recruit your host to join your team. So that's all I have.
All right. Well, everyone have a great evening.